YouTube. How are we today?
Hello.
We was going to do a question and answer with me this week. However, we kind of decided to change our mind on it at the last minute. In the light of everything going on with all the violence and the murders going on in the news here in the last week, we thought we would sit down and have a little heart-to-heart with our opinion and how we feel about what's been happening. First of all, we want to give our condolences and tell the families that we are sincerely sorry for what has happened to their family. It's unjust. It's unnecessary. I don't feel that all this violence in this world is worth it. I don't think we should condone violence with violence. I don't think that someone losing their life, no matter what, is worth it. Black lives matter, white lives matter, blue lives matter. Everybody's life matters. Because in the end, and at the end of the day, death is permanent. There's no coming back from that. And what happened with what's been going on in the news,
It's a shame.
it is.
It's a real shame.
There's no bringing them back. There's no justification for it.
I got a question. Is America heading for a race war? That's the question. What's going on? I know on the surface that's exactly what it looks like, but I know there's something more to it. And it's got a lot to do with the people who run this country. I think the elites are cleaning everybody's clock.
Yes.
They're using the police as a mediator, as a go-between the rich and poor, to keep us fighting amongst ourselves. Because no matter who you are, you know right from wrong. Why does the question of right and wrong change between the races? What's good for the geese is good for the gander. You know, if violence is wrong, then violence is wrong, no matter who you are and who you're perpetrating it against. Right is right and wrong is wrong. It doesn't change when the uniform is donned. It doesn't change when you're the President of the United States or Hillary Clinton. You know, some people feel like they're just immune to doing wrong. Do I think that police have a God complex? Yeah, I do. I think they do. I really do.
My grandpa's a retired sheriff. So, coming from a family who is involved in police, or have been involved in the police departments, I have heard several police officers say, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I have to make it home safe to my family.
Well, if you're there to serve and protect the public, then if that's your line to everything, then you're only serving and protecting yourself.
Right. So you're coming to work every day with that on your head, that I have to make it home to my family. So I'm going to do whatever it takes. If somebody pulls out something, then I'm going to do whatever I have to do to protect myself. It doesn't matter if there's a little kid crossing the street. It doesn't...
If it's real or imagined. I'm sorry, I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, honey.
If it's real or an imagined threat, once that comes to the table, and then you're like, oh, then that's okay. If you thought it was a threat, if it wasn't an actual threat. I mean, I just want to bring this back. Tamir Rice, in a park, playing alone, gets gunned down immediately.
The second he stepped
Do you not see a problem with that? Really? He's playing alone. Who is he a threat to? How do you justify something like that?
Because he's an officer in the blue and he has all right to do whatever he
I
wants
want
to
to go back.
do.
I want to go back. Let's go back to the stand your ground and all that thing they got going on with Florida and Zimmerman and Trayvon. Do you think for 1 second that if Zimmerman did not have a gun on him, that he would have got out of his vehicle and approached that situation the way he did? I believe it's the guns that make you do things that you wouldn't ordinarily do.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Because I know I'm older, And I know you are too. And I know we can think back growing up. We had the robbers and we had the getting pulled over and people pulling guns. We had that. But did you hear about the shootings? The cops shooting black men, white men? Did you hear about that? We know it happened.
No, we didn't hear about it.
It
Didn't happen about it. But since the event of the cell phones, what's been going on undercover
for years.
It's just now out in the open. It's nothing different. Nothing.
Now they're getting caught for it. However, they still feel that they are justified in what they're doing. And MinDee was driving to the store earlier today, and we was having this conversation. And we feel that these cops think it's okay and justifiable for them to take a life. But God forbid Mika Johnson or anybody else to pull a gun on them and threaten them. What gives you the right, police, badge, suit, or not?
The state. The state.
To take a life of another human being.
The state. Obey or die.
It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame.
And that makes it okay to kill people of color. When he says stop, you keep going, you can get shot. When he says shut up, you keep talking, you can get shot. You obey and do as I say. I am the judge, the jury, and the executioner.
And I'm going to execute at the end of the day. I don't care who you are, if you have children, if you have anything, family, wife, spouse, it don't matter. I'm going home to my family at the end of the day.
Let's talk about the Dallas, Texas thing. What was his name? Micah Xavier Johnson. They say he killed 5 and wounded
12.
Really?
12 altogether. I'm sorry. It was 12 altogether.
So of the 12, 5 were dead. Oh, wow. What made him snap?
What they're saying, the 2 incidents before that. The one that happened in Baton Rouge with
Alton
and Sterling. And then the one that happened in Minnesota with Philando Castile.
I say it goes back even further than that.
Yeah.
Black people are angry about the history from way back when they lynched 5,000 people with impunity.
I think that what happened the last couple of days is the straw that broke the camel's back. It's been going on for years.
It's not really a straw because every once in a while you get a bubble up. You had the race right here in Cincinnati, and what year that was?
2001.
Then you had before that, and there's many, but I can only name a few. You had Tony Sullivan in Lexington. You had Rodney King in L.A., and we can go on and on and on and on. But that's just to name a few. Every once in a while it bubbles up, and during these episodes of bubbling, some innocent people with no melanin are going to get hurt. So we really all need to get along and come together and love each other and respect each other as human beings. As human beings. Whenever you can look at somebody and say, that person is different from me, I'm more human, I'm more deserving, I'm more lovable, I'm more likable, I'm sexy, I'm preferred, and you are less than, then that makes it easy for someone to snuff out the life as if it doesn't matter. So I understand the quote, Black Lives Matter. That's not to say that no one else's life matters. It's saying that you all carry on in this earth as if we don't matter. And it may or may not be true, and I know that all white people aren't racist, but the elites is pushing a racist agenda.
Sure are. And they're not going to stop until they are heard. Or they sit back and they cause all this bullshit-ass drama. And guess what? We stand out here and we take each other out. Why they sit back and, okay, we didn't have to do it. They do it to themselves. And I don't mean black on black, white on white. I mean all of us together. Acting damn fools.
White people kill white people. Black people kill black people. Because you kill who's convenient, who's in the neighborhood, who you know, who you love, who you hate. You know, husband kills wife. wife kills husband.
Wife
You know?
kills kids.
So black on black crime is a problem. Absolutely.
Sure is.
But when you say black on black crime is a problem, are you saying that white on white crime is not? Come on now. It's all the language and it's all relative. How about crime is a problem in America? Yes, there's a lot of black on black crime. Yes, there's a lot of black on black murder. But there's also white on white crime. So you can say one thing. Does that make the opposite not true? Absolutely not. I think crime is a problem. Crime is a problem. People are getting hurt. People are suffering. Black men are really screaming for help because they feel so helpless. And they hate themselves. And they don't hate themselves because they hate themselves. They hate themselves because you hate them. People oftentimes just, like, who I am is a reflection of who you think I am. I know that sounds terrible when it's all about self-esteem, but a vast part of that is true. I said again, I said it before and I'll say it again, that a beautiful woman is beautiful to herself. Not because she thinks she's beautiful. It's because you think she's beautiful.
And you put it in her head.
And it's a fact now. It is established. Like we got little Jordan. Somebody said, "You're cute." He's like, "Thank you." Someone says again, "You're cute." "Thank you." Now he done heard this "I'm cute" about 5 or 6 times. And this is a true story. We went into a gas station about a week ago, marathon. And the cashier says, "You're cute." You know what he said? "I know." And that's a 4-year-old.
4 years old. Because he's been told time and time and time again, "You're cute. You're a handsome little man. You're so cute."
Is he cute? Absolutely.
And it's built up in his head.
Yes.
I mean, he's my child. Of course, I'm going to think he's absolutely gorgeous and nothing wrong with him. However, that's our problem. Like you said, a woman thinks she's cute or a man thinks he's cute or handsome for the simple fact, not because of the issues and the way they love themselves, but because they've heard it over and over and over. Just like somebody who has no self-esteem and thinks she's worthless.
She's heard it.
She's heard it time and time and time again.
Black men, they ain't shit. Not because they don't have enough strength to pick up and go be something. It's because they feel, I'm not saying that it's true. They feel they ain't shit because you feel they ain't shit.
Right.
Oh my God, I don't know where to begin with this. They don't want to go out and search and look because of the way people recoil to them. That's their response. It's such a visceral response. I just don't even really know how to get it out. It is deeply, deeply heartfelt that the black community feels so helpless. And a lot of the helplessness is learned helplessness.
Right.
It is. It's learned helplessness. What I mean by learned helplessness that's learned by black men is at some point somebody tried to get a job. Somebody kept getting turned away. Somebody tried to get a job and they kept getting turned away. So he had to accept the only job that will allow him to work, which was, say, minimum wage. He can't come up. He can't do better. So he develops a bad attitude because he feels like he's 35 years old now. He should have a better job. He's got enough work experience, but he can't break in. You know, the doors keep slamming. Yeah, you fill out an application, you're not getting a response. You fill out 100 applications, one response. You're going to take, after a while, you feel like, I must be worthless. You know,
it's something I'm doing.
You walk down the street and the woman's clenching her purse. You stop at a traffic light and the light turns and you go across the street, you hit click, click. The door is starting to lock. You know, you walking down the street and you see a couple over there, a man and a woman gets a little bit closer to the man because she saw you. You know, all these things build up. And you'd be like, well, what am I? Am I a monster? Then I guess after a while you'd be like, well, damn, maybe I need to go ahead and play the role. Maybe I ain't nothing. Maybe I'm just, it's a basic sorriness that they feel for themselves. Not everybody's like that, but it's a lot of that going on because there's a lot of unemployment in the hood. You know, you don't have anywhere to go. Your mother was a single parent, so you've been raised by a neurotic black female. That does something to a man. It really does.
I know, sitting back, I've been with Dee for 2 years, And I've watched the pain that she goes through, watching her fellow brothers and sisters getting shot and killed out here. I've watched the pain and suffering of going for a job and being black and being a lesbian.
I try not to show that, but she picks up on it, you know? I really do. You've noticed it?
Baby, if you truly love somebody and you truly love somebody, their pain is your pain.
Yeah, like this job I was working last year. I'm not going to say the
God,
name.
it kills me. And it took me forever, you guys, to get her out of this job.
I'm not going to say the name of it, but I'm going to say this. The initials are BC, and they deal with a lot of medical supplies. But anyway, I felt like I was grossly mistreated. You know, I came in, I trained people, they got hired on before me, they rose past me, got higher positions, had a chance to move around. I'm still doing this back breaking. I mean, it's a very hurtful thing. I went for like 7-8 months, never late, never missed a day.
Begged her to stay home. Just
and it
don't
went
go.
unnoticed. It went unnoticed.
And when I finally talked her into quitting, did they call and ask why? What's going on? What can we do to fix it? No. And for somebody who's been at a job for a year, over a year, never missed a day, never came in late, come in, do your job, and put you on a line that is back breaking, breaking her down, feet swollen, coming in barely being able to move, back, feet. Honey, quit the job. No, I gotta go to work. And they didn't care. Her numbers, and I'm sure we work warehouse. So, however, and I don't want to get far off of the subject, but the thing is, you gotta have high numbers. You gotta produce. You gotta make sure you're productive. If you're not productive, they're gonna find somebody else. Guess what? She was productive because they had her on that line for about 9 months. Every day, and picking up 50 pounds or more. And let me tell you, we're not saying we're weak being females, but it breaks you down quickly. You can do it Monday, Tuesday, you're good. By Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're
start
through.
to feel it in your back, your neck, and your feet.
So you have no time to do nothing else. But that's what I'm saying as far as racist. I don't mean to jump from the subject. I just want to say.
But as a black woman, I can feel where I feel the most racist is in an employment environment. That's where I feel it. Where it's right there every day. It's not spoken, it's thick, and you know you better perform. That's where I sense the most racist.
And I want to also put this in. Dee has drove trucks as far as cherry pickers, forklifts, stuff like that. She's done it for a while. I know jobs that we work together at different jobs. I know being white, being a female, thrown straight into a position. May not want it, but guess what? I'm thrown into that position. Knowing she's better qualified.
I've been doing it longer. More machines.
Guess where they got her?
They got me back breaking, bending over the line, and she's on the truck, which is fine. I'll get my turn, but...
And see, that's the attitude right there. That's fine. I'll have my turn. Anybody else be like, God damn motherfucker, I'm done with this job. Nah, Dee stick it out till the end.
And they always put me on the truck. I eventually get to the truck, but they make sure they stretch me out. They make sure I'm doing some of the hardest work there is in the warehouse. That's really why I learned to drive the truck, because I was like, he's just picking up these pallets, but I got to build this pallets. I got to skid them up, skid them down, you know. I need to just be pull up in there with the forks and back and load it, do it like that. But they got me with my back bending, lifting, stretching, and that's fine. But I definitely noticed that opportunities for doing other things and handling equipment is a little bit more difficult for a black woman specifically.
While Dee was at this last job, let me tell you, the job I had before, a few jobs ago, I guess I should say,
oh yeah,
they put me up quick, and it pissed me off. It pissed me off for the simple fact. A friend of mine was working with me. I'm not going to name her name. But they wouldn't pay her what was supposed to be paid. I was making $12 an hour. I was the receiving specialist arrivalist. How I got moved up there? Because I'm a white girl who the lead liked and moved me right on up quickly. And he made sure, because he liked me.
After how many months?
Oh, I was only there about 6 months.
6 months.
6 months. And got moved. It was supervisor, lead, specialist. So I was up there. Then I started training a girl to have my back, and her name, I'm not going to name her name, but she was a black girl, and she was a very good friend of mine, and we still talk. And you know, I don't even know if she's being paid right now for the job. I had enough. Once I seen how it was working and stuff, I'm the type of person, I'm going to tell you how I feel.
But
I don't care if you like it or not.
Well, I've been friends with people that I train who move past me, and they never address the elephant in the room.
Okay, well, I will. I will. I'm that type of person. I don't know if it's just me, if it's, I don't believe in.
Because I know what it's like when I feel like I'm being treated not fairly to a non-person of color. I know how they receive that. They don't want to hear it. I believe it's because they instinctively know that they've seen it, I have a point, and what I'm saying is true, and they just don't want to hear it.
Yeah. Oh, yes. They definitely don't want to hear it. But that's what I'm saying, you know, and I trained her, and she was a black girl, and she did an excellent job. I mean, anything, she caught on to it like bow, 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 bow. And I know she was working, I was there for a year. And I finally had enough. And she obviously took over my position, but I know it took her some months to get that pay raise. Some months.
Let's get back to the subject. Let's get back to the killings. What do we need to do to come together as white and black people? What is it that we need to do to come together? I want to understand what your plight is with me. But you also must listen to the plight that I have with you. When I'm saying you, I'm not saying you as an individual. I'm talking about the system, the systemic racism in this country, which is an advantage to some and a disadvantage to others. Disadvantages are clear and obvious, and advantages are clear and obvious, which is in part why they don't want to hear about it. You don't want to hear about something that's ludicrous and false because it doesn't matter if it keeps echoing and being mimicked throughout. You can tell it to the whole wide world. Nobody's listening. But when you start spitting truth, it's like spitting fire.
Oh, God, yes. And they don't want to hear it, and they don't want to catch fire, and they take off.
Let's get back to the killing. Let's get back to the killing. America cannot come to a race war. There needs to be a balance. You got to put some humanity into police work. That's the problem with capitalism, because it's bottom line, bottom line, bottom line. And you take out the humanity. You're handling people like they're robots or animals, or you can't handle people like glass.
I want to say, this whole thing with the first shooting in Baton Rouge, that was a damn shame. That was on, what, July 5th?
I don't remember the dates. I know it was... Let me see.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. But that was a shame. They got him down.
Alton Sterling, July 5th. Philando Castile, July 6th. And the massacre in Dallas on the 7th.
When you got somebody pinned to the ground, there's obviously no threat when one cop's got his knee in your chest, got one hand, another cop's got the other hand. Regardless if he's got a gun on him or not. When there's two officers and they got a hold of you, there's no obvious threat. So that was a straight out murder. Straight up.
I don't know. They always justify what they do.
Okay, they can justify till they're blue in the face.
Right.
But at the end of the day, the truth is the truth.
Yeah, the truth is the truth. The elites are cleaning our clocks. It's a false flag. They want to take your sovereignty. Bottom line.
Then the second shooting. This one totally pisses me off. Not more than any other. However, when he got pulled over, his girlfriend and their 4-year-old child was in the car. Got pulled over for a broken taillight.
Oh my God, you could hear that guy taking his last breath.
He tells the officer as soon as he walks up, I have a gun. It's in the back. I have a permit to carry. That's the first thing you're supposed to do when you've got a license to carry a gun, is notify them that you have it and you have your license.
Side note. Stand your ground. And license to open carry is not for black people.
Sure is not.
They were not talking to you. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Second off, any decent human being in this godforsaken America knows when you get pulled over by a police officer, the first things they ask you for, let me see your license, registration, and proof of insurance.
That's right.
3 things a police officer wants.
We know the drill, especially me.
So what's he do? Cops asking for him. He reaches. Guys carry wallets in the back pocket.
That's
He
what
gets shot in front of his girl and his child. Now, everybody keeps speaking of the girlfriend. And I am so sorry, honey. I am truly sorry. What about this 4-year-old that watched her daddy die? Okay, let's go back to Alton. He has 5 kids.
The 15-year-old, he's a large boy, but did you see him sobbing? Oh my God, what is he gonna grow up and be? He watched his dad die on the internet, online, over and
over.
I'm gonna have to keep an eye on
And it is
him.
going to keep going, you know. Of course, we're going to have protests. We're going to have all this other stuff. So this is messing this child's mind up. It's a damn shame. The officers don't stop to think about what they are doing. They're quick to pull that damn gun and shoot someone.
We're not taking any chances on our life. We don't take chances.
We're going home to our
tonight.
family.
We're going home
Fuck you,
every
whoever you
night.
are.
We don't take chances. Obey or die.
So then that leads us up to Mika.
Oh wow.
Now this is a sad situation also. Regardless on how many lives he took, he was backed into a corner. I can't say that if I was backed into a corner, I would have done the same thing.
How was he backed into a corner?
How's he backed into a corner? Okay, let me explain. I feel he was backed into the corner for the simple fact that he just, he's an ex-Marine.
Yeah, he was a veteran. I don't know if he was a Marine.
Okay, he was
a veteran.
He's fought for our country.
He's
over and
homegrown.
over again.
Afghanistan, somewhere in the Middle East. That's right.
So he's over there fighting for our rights. Black, white, Asian, Puerto Rican, it don't matter. He's fighting for our rights.
Under the American flag.
Yes, ma'am.
American patriots.
So then he comes home from being over there fighting, and guess what the hell's going on over here?
Black men getting shot up like they don't.
Left and right. Like it's a disease. You got a disease. Let's kill him.
I think racism